Make no mistake, friends, Prince William is definitely the one in charge now. I really hate to say this, of course, because as many of you know, I am a big supporter of the royal family. And one of my favorite royals, as I know many of you also know, is of course Bertie, the Prince of Wales. And I have often said this, haven't I, that the thing I think where Bertie was very lucky was the fact, sorry, King Edward eventually, you know, but Bertie was very lucky because he had such a long time to watch someone like Queen Victoria and figure out the mistakes she made. And what was interesting about Bertie, in my opinion, was that very quickly after Queen Victoria passed away, he completely changed the way the monarchy was seen. You know, he used the modern tools of moving pictures, postcards, and photography. He was always ready to sit for a portrait, always willing to show himself in a good light. You usually see this with kings and queens when they know they do not have a long time on the throne. And I am not trying to be disrespectful to His Majesty the King, but you know, he started this job very late in life. Now, in my opinion, I get very worried because clearly he looks unwell. There is no other way to put it. You know, there are days when he looks especially pale. But I do admire the man's energy. The fact that he gets ready, he gets out there. If you are enjoying this video and want to see more updates and insights, don't forget to like this video. Make sure to subscribe to the channel so you never miss out on the latest news and discussions. And I'd love to hear your thoughts. Drop a comment below and let me know what you think about this story. You know, he hosted a big state banquet the other week, and then the next day he is out walking on his coastal path. Surely he could have said, you know, can we just move that date to another day? He is a king in a hurry. He really does not want to miss a single moment. And this is because, and again, I have this from an excellent source, Camilla is very worried about it because, in many ways, he will not slow down. He still thinks he is 40-something. But do not we all? You know what I mean? But the thing is, he will not take it easy. And then you have the worry that he might make himself sick. That is why what you are really seeing is that Prince William and Catherine, the Princess of Wales, are stepping up their presence and their involvement. You know, nobody wants to take over. As William famously said, you know, that means someone has to leave us if you do. If you remember, Prince Harry famously said that nobody wants the job. I mean, again, you know, he has been fighting for the job and some relevance and things for ages, but apparently nobody wants it. But when you see headlines like this, what is the real story behind that headline? As always, let me explain. Hi, everyone, welcome back. Nice to see you. Thank you so much for joining me today. I have told you, haven't I, that sorry, I know that was a bit weak, was not it? No, we will do another wave. Yes. Now, did I mention, by the way, I just ran into a wonderful man named John the plumber. This is what I love about our community, friends. I really do. You know, I was just there setting up, and he says, you are near. I am a subscriber. He said he had been a subscriber for 2 years. I felt so bad for him. I said, 2 years? Honestly, people get less time in prison. And he laughed and said, no, he said he enjoyed the show. It was lovely to meet you, John. Lovely conversation. We sorted out the world's problems. And that is the nice thing, is not it? You meet. This is what I love about our community. And it is your channel, but you know, really, you have given me so many wonderful moments of friendship, just people chatting away, because you just connect on that level. And you know, you might disagree on this or that, but most of the time, it is about connecting with each other. And that is what makes us special. Absolutely. It is a bit like this. I wanted to highlight this story too. You see, if you see this particular kind of headline, you will notice it says that King Charles has invited Princess Beatrice and Princess Eugenie to Royal Ascot. And you think, all right. So, everyone has got this wrong, right? So, there is no problem with the princesses. That is all swept under the carpet now. You know, Andrew can live in his caravan, which is fake. And you know what I mean? We are not supposed to. No, no, no. The key words are could and maybe. You know, people just, this is what I mean about the mainstream media. They come up with these words like could and maybe. So, what is the real story? Well, from my excellent contact inside the palace, the bottom line is this, and this is where it gets very complicated. If you are His Majesty the King, remember he now has coming up later this month the state visit over to, of course, the celebrations of the brilliant United States of America. I mean, what a celebration that is going to be. So, congratulations to them over there. But, you know, why does he want to do that? Well, he wants to do that because it is part of his legacy, his history. You know, he just does not want it to be only about other things. And how insulting would it be for all the people of America if he decided to just send someone else in his place? That just says no, right? So, the real reason behind this particular type of headline is that obviously it is about a public relations game, a winning game, right? You do not want to be seen as the person who is harmful and unkind, which, of course, I have to say the king is not. He has a very warm and kind side. He would like the world to get along, but the world will not get along, right? Sadly, that is just how the world works. But you see, with this, what is interesting is Royal Ascot, one of the biggest events in the royal calendar. The decision about that has certainly not been made yet. There are two things you need to watch for here. The final decision will be made by Prince William. William will decide exactly how Royal Ascot will work. King Charles, according to my source, is more than happy to let William take on more responsibility because, in the future, it is going to be all his responsibility anyway, right? But the other side of the coin is simply this. You see, obviously, William knows that if these two young women were invited, it is a big risk. You are in a very public space. It is very easy to get into certain areas, especially with signs and megaphones and things like that. And they know exactly what happened at Westminster Abbey last month on Commonwealth Day. That did not go exactly as planned. Yes, there were not as many protesters, but there were still a lot of people out there shouting cruel things, of course, to Catherine and William as they walked into the Abbey. You cannot take that chance. Now, the best way to handle that is to simply not invite them. The way around this in public relations terms is to say could, would, maybe. And here's my promise on this. The princesses will in fact find a way to say no thank you, to say that is very nice, but they are now not going to do this because they also do not want to risk that kind of abuse in public. But this is very much a public relations spin. And I am not criticizing the king or William or Catherine, but you know, they have to protect themselves. And likewise, even the young women, the princesses, would know it is a risky move to put yourself right out there and basically say, we are here. You have to like us now. That simply would not work. But of course, the mainstream media wants to suggest that everything is fine. It is far from fine. And it will not be. And as far as I am concerned, all thanks to my excellent source who tells me that William is beyond angry behind the scenes. And these two simply have not been brought in to protect the monarchy. You see how this is truly developing. If you enjoyed this video and want to see more updates and insights, don't forget to like this video. Make sure to subscribe to the channel so you never miss out on the latest news and discussions. And I'd love to hear your thoughts. Drop a comment below and let me know what you think about this story.